Hey everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Deadly Moves, a one-on-one fighting game for the Sega Genesis developed and released by Kaneko in 1993. The game was released right at the height of the fighting game craze of the early 90s and attempted to cash in on the success of Street Fighter II. It was released for both the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, but with the name changed to Power Moves for the Super NES, while both games are known as Power Athlete in Japan. While most would dismiss Deadly Moves as just another Street Fighter clone, it has a lot of unique features in it that deserve attention, especially if you're a fan of the fighting game genre. So let's take a look. Once in the game, you play as Joe, our American karate-gi-clad Ryu lookalike, complete with fireball and anti-air attack special moves. You'll travel the globe and fight against opponents from all over the world. There's Warren, a grappler from Hawaii, Rion, our typical kick-heavy Chun-Li clone, Vagnad, a gigantic wrestler with gray skin and apparent Holocaust survivor according to the Genesis manual, Nick, an arrogant matador from Spain, Buo, a kabuki-style fighter who can teleport around the stage, Galuan, a quick kung fu master who carries a pair of twin blades, and Baraki, a tribal warrior whose moves and appearance are quite similar to those of Blanka from Street Fighter II. The special move structure doesn't work the same way as Street Fighter, but actually more like Mortal Kombat, in that the fireball, for example, is executed by tapping left then right and both attack buttons at the same time. The anti-air move, in which Joe flies upward and stops pretty much any jumping attack, is done by tapping right and both attack buttons simultaneously. The fight path in Deadly Moves is far from linear, since you are allowed complete control in terms of which order you choose to fight your opponents in. There is a catch, however, as many of them will have stats that outweigh yours by leaps and bounds. This, in turn, brings us to one of the most unique features of the game, the Powerup System. Each time you defeat an enemy, you will return to the enemy select screen where points will automatically be added to your statistics. Also, a password will be given so you can continue from this point on in the future. As far as the control scheme, the game uses 3 buttons. One is for punching, kicking, and then one for jumping. The reason that the jump button is assigned to the face buttons is because of the plane system in the game where you can move up and down along the plane to get a better position on your enemy. This ends up being extremely useful while playing through the game, especially when moving up or down and sneaking in for a throw. Graphically, I think the game looks great. The character design may be a bit uninspired at times, but the stages are wonderfully done, with excellent parallax and scrolling throughout. Warren's stage on the raft is very well done, as is Vagnad's stage on the back of a train. I do really like the effect that runs when you win a round, when the screen darkens around your character and gives you a bonus. The music in Deadly Moves is equally good, with each tune being just memorable enough to catch yourself humming later. There is one bonus stage in the game and it's pretty slow-paced and boring. You have to hit these mechanical pads 30 times, punching or kicking them when the pad lights up. It takes a really long time to get through and unfortunately there's no way to skip past it. Deadly Moves also has a versus mode where 2 players can square off as any of the fighters in the game, which is a great addition. All in all, Deadly Moves was a good game that was overlooked by many due to its window of release. It's certainly not the best fighter out there or even the best fighter on the Genesis, but it's interesting and plays well. The versus mode is a lot of fun with a friend, and the game does feel genuinely rewarding when finishing off that opponent that was giving you so much trouble before you boosted your stats. It's definitely a worthwhile pickup and worth spending the afternoon playing. And that's going to wrap things up here for our Deadly Moves review. But until next time, everybody, stay classic.